Ecclesiastes chapter 3 reminds us of a very important principle, starting with verse 1. For everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven. There are many parts of life that we would love to not have to face. But the reality is there is a time for everything. And the passage goes on to give many examples. A time to be born, a time to die. We can understand that. A time to plant, a time to pluck up what is planted. And always we see through these different instances that it's about a season. Now, one of the things we can learn from this is that life is a series of seasons or a cycle of seasons. And so that teaches us that if we will be faithful, if we will just let the Lord use it in the way He wants, the season will end and another will follow. It's easy for those that are living in climates where you experience all four seasons and you understand winter can be harsh, but yet there's many wonderful things that happen during wintertime that are necessary for the world to thrive. And then there are seasons like spring and fall that have their beauty and their glory, and yet they don't last forever. And sometimes we wish they would. And you know, and I know, that God has a purpose for all of these things. In fact, it says, reading on in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, starting with verse 9, what gain has the worker from his toil? I have seen the business that God has given to the children of men to be busy with. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Also, He has put eternity into man's heart, yet so that he cannot find out what God has done from beginning to end. So in God's time, He makes everything beautiful. So whatever seasons you're going through right now or season you're facing, just remember, number one, there's a purpose in it. There's a value to it. Number two, remember that this season will end. If it's a season of hardship, it's going to end. But remember too, if it's a season of great joy and prosperity, that's going to end. As long as we live in this fallen world, we will experience the seasons of life. But there is a purpose for every season. God has created it all, and for everything, there is a season. We can have confidence in knowing that God is at work in our lives, and we can have the peace and assurance that God is going to use it for our good and to fulfill His purpose.